Did you want to say something about Hot Girl Summer?
As a student, I take the summer pretty seriously. This is one of the only times of the year where I can ruthlessly be my truest self. I can design my own schedule and pursue my passions, so let me tell you how to make the most out of your summer. The first step to having your hot girl summer is figuring out what you authentically desire. So a part of the Urban Dictionary definition of hot girl summer is figuring out what is authentic to you. It is so easy to get swept up in other people's dreams for you, what society wants, what everyone in your grade wants, what people at school want, but it's so important that you understand what actually makes you happy. And I totally caught up in this, guys. Earlier this year, I had a vision for my future that I thought was authentic to me, and then the more reflection I did on it, I was like, wait, like this isn't even what I want, and this isn't even like what was actually coming out of what I authentically want. So I definitely recommend journaling to get some more clarity on this, guys. There is no shortcut. I can't give you a how-to guide of this is how you should live your life and this is the dream that you should be pursuing. It's really going to take that inner work and intention, but good news, we have a lot of time this summer to do just that. And let me just say that this is an incremental process. You are not expected to just have this like perfect mission statement for your life after one journaling session. I am just proud of you for sitting down and journaling. It's all about progress over perfection and taking those little steps. So here on the screen, I'll leave some journal prompts for y'all. This goes along with one of the journal prompts, so I think it's really important to identify people that you are inspired by, and especially like people that are a little bit older than you. There are some girls that I follow on Instagram that are in like their mid-20s, and I see so much of myself in them. So I would definitely identify those role models for yourself. I also think curating a vision board can be really helpful. I know some people like create like a physical vision board. I think so weird. Are you just getting mad because I'm calling you weird? This could totally just be me being lazy, but I personally don't have a physical vision board. I just have this master Pinterest board, okay, that has over 500 pins, and it's just titled My World. And when I see something on Pinterest that I have like an emotional connection with, I just add it to this board. I feel like my vision for my life is like constantly kind of changing in terms of what it actually looks like. So I don't like the idea of like committing to a vision board, like buying it. My next tip for having your summer glow up is creating a daily to-do list that's aligned to your goals and your desires. And what I mean by daily to-do list is not like, oh, there's one to-do list and I just repeat this every day. I mean that every night, like you write a to-do list of things that you're gonna do the next day. I know this is so simple. I feel like a lot of the times, like I am even guilty of this. I'll look for all these like complicated advanced productivity tips where literally the most advanced thing you can do is consistently repeat these simple things. Like I think a beautiful thing about the summer is the flexibility we can have. You know, when a friend invites you somewhere, you can just go and have fun. So like let's not take the fun out of summer. I think keeping things simple and concise is key. So let me give you guys an example of how I'd align a daily task to my like desired outcome or what I really value. So a desire I have is to establish a consistent fitness routine. So a daily target could be take a 30-minute walk outside with mom. This is not a personal example, but let's say I wanted to get an internship in software engineering, or I just really wanted to learn how to code. I would then spend 20 minutes prompting ChatGPT to give me coding exercises and resources. I find that if you guys struggle with discipline, it's so helpful to be like, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes or like 40 minutes doing XYZ. And I know it's more important like the outcome, right? Rather than the amount of time you spend doing something. But sometimes you need to give yourself like a time where the pain ends, because that'll motivate you to actually take action. I think something that I'm going to be working on this summer is setting the groundwork and framework for how I want to operate for the rest of the year into the fall and the winter. So now I want to tap into a topic that's more on the physical appearance and physical glow up side. It's really important to touch on the internal and external, because I think our internal and external circumstances and appearance can both influence each other. So I think both are important. But in terms of your external like appearance, I think it's really important to figure out what colors suit you best, learning a little bit more about skincare, cultivating like Pinterest boards for style. I've been getting a lot of questions on my Instagram recently, and if you don't follow it already, it's just at AnnieLongYT, and I post a lot of stuff about productivity, personal development, specifically for teenage girls, and then I'll post sometimes my outfits. But a lot of people have been asking me how I'm like curating my personal style. Something I'd highly recommend is continuing to update your Pinterest board and make purchases slowly, because it's so easy to see something you think is really cute on Instagram, go buy it, and then later on not like it anymore. Like for instance, I really wanted to buy like a pink tennis skirt, and maybe I'll buy this in the future, but I thought about it more and I'm like, do I really feel like tennis skirts are authentic to my personal style? Maybe, but I don't know. I didn't feel fully confident in that. I just think it's really important to be picky, because when you buy a certain clothing item, there's like an opportunity cost to that, where that money could have gone to something else. So value your resources. Okay, on a more internal note, romanticize your life. I know some people make fun of this whole concept, but I think I genuinely do it on a daily basis, and it's so interesting being a teenager because I genuinely view my life as like a teenage coming of age journey, and like it makes just every single conflict I go through just feel so much better and so much more interesting. Like having trouble with a boy, I'm like, oh, this is like a movie moment, you know? Having a fight with my parents, I'm like, oh, I'm that angsty teenager from the movies. Like, I don't know if that's just a coping mechanism, but it literally makes everything so much more fun. But on a practical note, here are some habits that I have that really help me romanticize life. I think the first thing is frequently taking pictures and videos, documenting a lot of things. It is so cool to me that my future children could like watch my videos. Good luck, Charlie moments. Also, journaling and reflecting a lot, because you're literally telling a story about your life. So I think the more we make our lives into stories, we start to romanticize it more. And lastly, realizing the temporary nature of life and just appreciating the glimpses of every moment and not worrying so much about relationships or things lasting. Like I feel like I would always like think so far into the future in terms of friendships, even like how long will this last, but it's like, let's appreciate the love that we experience right now in this moment. And next, on the internal glow up notes, I think it's really important to surrender your false self and tap into your inner child. During the school year, it's really easy to be in a fight or flight mode. You have all these tasks and assignments, and you constantly feel like you're fighting. You constantly feel like you're behind or you're not doing enough. And I think that that can be really unhealthy for our inner child and just our feminine energy to live and to just enjoy life. Like I think sometimes we just try to grow up so fast and achieve so much that we forget that our youthful energy is a gift. And I think when a young woman taps into her youthful energy, she is truly glowing. Like some practical things I like to do to tap into my inner child is to do the things that fill me up and bring me enjoyment. Even like touching grass, guys, like grounding, like getting your physical contact with the grass. Also swimming. I remember when I was younger, I low-key played mermaids. So getting back into those things and really just thinking what would bring me the most enjoyment and fulfillment today. Next tip for having an internal glow up this summer is spreading love and supporting others. And I think it's so important to build a supportive community and supportive female friendships too. I think if you want to attract friends that really support you, it's so important to genuinely feel supportive of others and get out of the cycle of comparison, guys. Like, and I've struggled with this a lot, guys. Like, there was a time where, like, I could barely follow any of the YouTubers I watch because I would just compare my content to theirs or compare our lives. And it's crazy how now I can unmute those YouTubers and be like, I literally love your content, you're doing so well. It really shows me that the way we view other women is so dependent on where our own self-esteem level is at. So I would just highly recommend doing more of that inner work, which I can definitely get into in another video if you guys want to see that. Like, insecurity and comparison is such a block to the blessings that you're going to receive. So just have that awareness. When someone else's success bothers you, like, I really challenge you, start journaling about that, dig deeper, and get down to that really deep onion layer of why something bothered you, and that's helped me so much in all my journaling practices. I think overall what I want you guys to take out of this video is that this summer is an opportunity to build your world. You may have heard about world building in terms of writing fictional stories and fantasies, like who's the main character, what's the conflict. Like, I think because we have so much more freedom in the summer and we're not like trapped in school or whatever, you actually have so much more choice of like who you hang out with, what you consume, what you're doing, what activities you're engaging in. And like the components of a world are like culture, right? The customs, habits, societal norms, values, clothing, food, religion, philosophy. So like when you think about that as a framework for your own world, that is actually so useful and you'll discover so much more about yourself. For me, I want to build a world that's full of filmmaking, writing, entrepreneurship, exercise, creative work, abundance mindset, that opportunities are everywhere we go. I love meeting strangers, getting out of my comfort zone, impact, community. Those are all words that come to mind when I think about the world I want to build. And I'll list some practical things that I'm going to be doing this summer to build this world. So I'm doing a summer internship at Curate. They're a startup that offers financial services for content creators. I'm going to be in LA for a week towards the end of the summer, so I'm really excited to be around a lot of creative and entrepreneurial people. I'm going to be consistently working out this summer and swimming a lot, and I'll continue to say affirmations to myself and be around people that have an abundance mindset. And I'll continue talking to a stranger every day. I love doing little coffee chats on LinkedIn. My ideas and intentions for the summer are constantly evolving, so you guys should totally follow me on Instagram at AnnieLongYT to keep up with the hot girl summer. But that's all for today's video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.